The swamp is a treacherous place.
Tony Lane breaking the Maduro case is heading to a Clinton-appointed judge. Meet Alvin Hellerstein, a 92-year-old appointed by Bill Clinton and a judge who has ruled against Trump in the past. Now, this judge is set to oversee one of the most explosive international criminal cases in decades. That raises serious questions. Is this about justice or politics? Can the public expect neutrality? Why this judge at this moment? The courtroom just became the story. What do you think about this? Look, I could be wrong, but I believe that those judges, that they're appointed to cases at random. I don't know how they generate the random selection process, but I mean, that's my understanding as to how they put cases in front of specific judges. I don't think that they pre-select the judge necessarily. I think it is a random selection process. All right, anyway, commentary. Donald J. Trump posts from, I don't know, maybe Truth Social. Thomas Massey at Rep. Thomas Massey and Rand Paul attacked President Trump for removing dictator Maduro. So we are attaching this video and tagging them to view it. Let them know your thoughts. This, I'm assuming, is from a Venezuelan. Yo nací en esta ribera del Arauca vibrador. Soy hermano de la espuma, de la garza y de las rosas. And of course, I'm sure that Massey and Rand Paul don't care, nor will they take the time to see that 15-second video clip. One bad dude. So the same people who are calling for endless war in Ukraine are furious that Donald Trump performed a calculated strike in Venezuela. I wouldn't even consider that. I wouldn't even call it a strike. I would call it an arrest warrant being served, really. Just an extremely elaborate one. These people can never be consistent with anything and always twist things to fuel one another's outrage. This is what strategy and precision looks like. This was never a war.
I just want to say, if you're MAGA and you are supporting what's happening in Venezuela after screaming no new wars, it was the first topic that you pretended you actually agreed with us on, but all you really meant is that Russia.
Dude, you don't agree. You actively support the ongoing funding of Ukraine, for instance.
Should get to do whatever the fuck.
And of course, Gaza. Can't forget Palestine. All right. So anyway, Hillel Neuer, UN Chief Antonio Gutierrez, deeply alarmed by U.S. capture of Maduro, deeply concerned that the rules of international law have not been respected. He hasn't said a word for Iranian demonstrators killed this week by the regime. No appeal to protect their human rights. Yep, fair point. UN spokesperson Antonio Gutierrez is deeply alarmed by the recent escalation in Venezuela. He continues to emphasize the importance of full respect by all of international law, including the UN chapter. And you can view his full statement here, which I will link below, but it's short enough. I'll read it. All right, zoom in so you can view it on your screen if you happen to be looking at this on a smartphone. All right, the Secretary General is deeply alarmed by the recent escalation in Venezuela, culminating with today's United States military action in the country, which has potential worrying implications for the region. Independently of the situation in Venezuela, these developments constitute a dangerous precedent. The Secretary General continues to emphasize the importance of full respect by all of international law, including the UN Charter. He's deeply concerned that the rules of international law have not been respected. The Secretary General calls on all actors in Venezuela to engage in inclusive dialogue in full respect of human rights and the rule of law. And we'll head on to the next, if there is another one. Yeah, there's still quite a few left. Eric Doherty, boom! Venezuelan man goes off on the left for protesting Donald Trump's arrest of Maduro. And it gives a quote, so we'll just hear him say it himself.
Venezuela. People are criticizing Trump for what he did in Venezuela. They say he bombed and kidnapped our president. No. Let me be clear.
Okay, we did already see this, so I won't go ahead and play it a second time. We did see that earlier, so move on to the next. I know that there's going to be more down here. At least I believe there are. Dr. Eli David, hi, French Foreign Minister J.N. Barrot. Kindly go F yourself. Mercy for your attention to this matter. So Jean-Noel Barrot, the military operation that led to the capture of Nicolas Maduro violates the principle of non-resort to force that underpins international law. France recalls that no lasting political solution can be imposed from the outside and that sovereign peoples alone decide their future. Well, it's easy for you to say way over in France where you're not being flooded with illegal narcotics. Vicegrad 24, Venezuelan man. Quote, those who say that the U.S. is only interested in our oil, I ask you, what do you think the Russians and the Chinese wanted here? The recipe for our pass. So, yeah, it brings up a very fair point. You know, not only the Russians and the Chinese, but also the Iranians, which, of course, Iran, they've got their own oil, but there's Iranian tankers that show up to Venezuela to I'm assuming, collect crude oil, and then they ship it wherever it is that they ship it, because we seized one of those vessels, which I honestly, I don't believe that the oil tanker that we seized a few weeks ago was owned by the Iranian government, but it's owned by a company that has been sanctioned by the U.S. government because they do business with Venezuela and Iran with regard to oil. So, but yeah, I mean, raises a good question. The Russians and the Chinese, what do you think they're doing in Venezuela? Probably oil.
Y le pido a todos que tengan fe, no sé dónde irá a salir, pero le pido a todos que tengan fe, que no se dejen llenar la cabeza de que los gringos solo quieren el petróleo, y los gringos solo quieren su riqueza.
Petroleum.
O sea, y a esas personas les pregunto, ¿qué creen ellos que querían los rusos y los chinos durante tanto tiempo? ¿La receta de la arepa? Imposible. Y le
All right, well, if you understand Spanish, maybe you could translate that in the comments. I would be very appreciative. But actually, they already translated it here. I'm sure that's the gist of what he said already. All right, anyway, Vince Langman, imagine being this stupid. War on Venezuela.
Colombia, Cuba, Brazil, Iran, Russia.
It's Iran.
Every single country is calling the attack on Venezuela a criminal act.
Not an attack, it was an arrest.
To their sovereignty. So if you do think this is going to go without having reactions and potential attacks on us from other country,
from other country,
I really want you
singular.
to think again.
Many other country. All right, Jonathan Cho. These commies in Seattle brought out the C team, but they are heavily recruiting for their cause. So now we're in Seattle. I'm sure the signs are going to probably look quite similar.
I want to close today's program here. And thank you, Izzy, for your fiery speech at the end. Kind of covered everything I was going to say to close. But yeah, wanted to encourage each and every one of you, if you're not already organized, you know, if you go to these protests and, you know, sometimes you leave a little confused about, like, what do we do now? You know? Izzy just gave you a great answer. Get organized, right?
Just keep begging for protest money.
Fight, find your
Jump to the next one. We'll give you $100.
We need everyone. We need each and every one of you here to fight, to raise our voices together, to really bring down this imperialist system. And so I want to end today.
More complainy, less ready. And God forbid they educate themselves on what's really going on in the world.
Long live!
Let's live in our echo chamber bubbles.
Long live! Thank you.
Long live international solidarity. So global communism, probably.
On the other side of Pike Place at the Alaska overpass. And so our folks are feeling agitated and want to continue showing your solidarity, please feel free to find a
Pike's Place overpass. I don't know. Is that like a coffee shop or something?
To the banner drop as well. Thank you all for coming here.
Yeah, let's go meet and celebrate at a business that enjoys the fruits of capitalism. Jonathan Cho, members of Freedom Road Socialist Organization, FRSO, are a bunch of commies who hate American capitalism. They rallied today in Seattle's Pike Place Market and want Maduro released. Yeah, Pike's Place Market, enjoying the fruits of capitalism. All right, so I believe we already saw this one.
People of Venezuela know
maybe not.
we have a common enemy. When I was at the Ministry of Popular Power,
He's got to read.
I spoke to the spokesperson.
Can't speak for himself. He's got to read something already prepared by some NGO or some non-profit or quote-unquote non-profit activist organization.
Who attack us. It is their government. It is the capitalists who rule the United States. And those same capitalists that assault Venezuela are the same...
the same capitalists where you got your phone, your microphone, your shirt, your hat, your glasses, your belt.
People that exploit your labor and leave you in poverty, and that destroy the environment and steal the resources. She told me that the number one thing the people of the U.S. can do to help Venezuela is to unite with them against our common enemy, the monopoly capitalists, the imperialists. Because every blow we strike against our own oppressors is a blow struck against theirs. When we fight, we are not just fighting against a single war. We are fighting for the environment. We are fighting for freedom for immigrants. We are fighting for the national liberation of Black and Chicano Americans. We are fighting for indigenous sovereignty. And in this fight, it is important that we unite around action. In the FRSO, our strategy is to build the broadest possible united front against our common enemy. We work tirelessly in many organizations and unions across the country to unite.
Many organizations, many unions, so much
Today
organization
is
happening.
Just day one. We will continue to organize against the class enemy in the defense of Venezuela. And for our united movement to be successful, I need you all to get organized. The attacks,
I wonder if he's got rich parents.
Abroad, will only pick up pace as the empire rots from the inside out. The time now is to fight. The time now is to join an organization and get involved. It will take all of us.
Unless, of course, you got a full-time job.
To win our war, our people's
No, quit that
war.
job. Join the
Our
cause.
people's war for freedom. Our people's war for socialism, for our planet, for our friends, for all the workers and the oppressed of the world. If you like what you heard here today, join the FRSO or one of our friends who are here with today, such as Seattle Against War, the International League of People's Struggle, Veterans for Peace, 350 Seattle, and others. Find your
That's
people
hilarious.
and fight.
Against war, except for Ukraine.
Also, please join the FRSO and Seattle Against War at the New Holly Library, January 10th at 1 through 3 p.m. for a report back on Ray and I's delegation to Venezuela. You can learn more about the reality of their society and their struggles.
Except there's no war in Venezuela
All
right
say
now.
it with me all. Hands up, Venezuela! Hands up, Venezuela! Hands up, Venezuela!
Not a single Venezuelan there, guaranteed.
President Maduro! La lucha sigue! Libertad, socialismo o muerte! Pensaremos!
Yeah, they're not repeating that. All right. So we'll move on to the next thing. Looked like it was yeah, they say it's a thread here. So FRSO. Okay, so Freedom Road Socialist Organization, founded in 1985, 41 years ago. Revolutionary Workers Headquarters, Proletarian Unity League, Organization for Revolutionary Unity, and so on and so forth. Over 1,000 general members as of 2021. Their ideology involves communism, Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, anti-revisionism, revolutionary socialism. You know, everything that involves the absolute destruction of society and the execution of millions and millions of people. All right, to move on to Defiant L's. Leftists pretending they know anything about Venezuela is the funniest part. So this is Americans and this is Venezuelans.
We're bombing Venezuela right now. It is 2:35 a.m. and Pete Kegsbreath, fucking cosplay G.I. Joe, is literally bombing Venezuela. You guys didn't stop them when they were bombing boats in the ocean. You didn't stop them when they fucking took a tanker off the coast of Venezuela like a bunch of fucking pirates. You guys didn't say shit when they bombed Nigeria less than 2 weeks ago. What the fuck are you guys doing?
This woman has no fucking clue.
We are exporting error to the rest of the world. What the fuck is it going to take for you people to remove this dementia-ridden patient who needs to be in a fucking padded cell at this point?
Oh, lady, you're the one who's dementia-ridden, padded cell, just absolutely brain dead. Unhinged woman screams at Venezuelans who are celebrating the fall of Maduro. Viva Chavez, viva Maduro, murderers. Puta! Oh my god, dude. What a miserable freaking woman. Can you say psychotic? My god. All right, AG, communist student, activist. I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism. Shown the people of Venezuela are celebrating in the streets. I don't know.
You should check out that communist flag over there.
What brings you out here today?
I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela, and we unequivocally stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialist aggression.
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets?
What?
What do you think about the people of Venezuela celebrating on the streets today?
I saw images of Venezuelans being bombed after the U.S. bombed Caracas. So I'm not
so
sure what
fucking
you're talking
stupid.
about, but
They bombed vehicles. They bombed trucks. They bombed trucks with missiles on them that were designed to shoot at planes. They didn't bomb any buildings. They didn't bomb any civilians.
yeah, I think you should
Can
definitely
you show me the bombings that you're talking about? I
Delusional,
I know, I
dude.
just saw it on Reddit. It was on the front page of the
Reddit.
Oh yeah, Reddit. Yeah, so
What
trustworthy.
do you think about the people
Yeah, there's no
celebrating?
AI or
Hundreds of
anything on
thousands of
Reddit.
people that are in the streets celebrating.
I have yet to see it. Can you show me that?
Yeah.
Sure. U.S.
Here are the
imperialism.
people
Oh yeah.
celebrating on the streets here. What do you think about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I stand with the people of Venezuela against U.S. imperialism. The U.S. has no right to bomb the people of Venezuela. The U.S. has no right to kidnap another
Why
the
are
leader
they
of
all
another.
celebrating? Why are they celebrating?
I don't know. You have a correspondent there who can ask.
Because you're retarded.
I'm
trying to
here
get out there.
demonstrating.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm here demonstrating against U.S. imperialism and the U.S. intervention.
Is this AI?
Yeah, you already said that.
Images of everybody
I don't know.
celebrating?
You're the one showing me the video, so let me know. You're showing me the source.
I don't know. I don't think it's AI because it's
Okay.
being published by multiple news.
Oh yeah, see that's the
organizations. So
typical
just what are your
excuse from the
thoughts
left.
on it?
It's like totally AI.
Here protesting
That's not
US
real, that's AI.
intervention,
understand that. I
U.S.
get that.
imperialism and U.S. capitalism.
Yeah, it's awful convenient for them to insulate themselves in their infinitely tiny microscopic bubble. It's just AI, bro. All right, Stu Smith breaking. The Democratic Socialists of America have released their statement on the capture of President Maduro and its propaganda with the DSA logo on it. They deny the premise, no substantiated evidence, ignore Maduro's international legitimacy crisis, and then demand he be returned like he's a wrongfully detained out of state. They're not defending Venezuelans. They're defending the regime that made Venezuela a regional catastrophe. And it says DSA condemns Trump's illegal war against Venezuela. There is no war. DSA condena la guerra ilegal. Okay, whatever. That's in Spanish. All right, the Trump administration has started an illegal war against Venezuela. This is a nakedly imperialist war to install a U.S. puppet government that will give Venezuela's oil resources over to U.S. corporations and enforce U.S. hegemony over Latin America. The new Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, this war is illegal both under international law and the laws governing the declaration of war within the United States. Trump's war has nothing to do with drug trafficking. There is no substantiated evidence that high-level members of the Venezuelan government are narco-terrorists, yet the Trump administration is using this claim as the pretext for this illegal war. This is another regime change war to steal another country's oil, just like the failed war against Iraq, and to crush any resistance to U.S. imperialism. Trump's war will only impoverish the people of Latin America. No, I think Maduro and the communists, the socialists, the leftists, I think they already did a very good job at that, impoverishing people. DSA demands a return of President Maduro and First Lady Flores to Venezuela, an immediate end to the war, and an end to all U.S. military violence against Venezuela, a total withdrawal of all U.S. warships, fighter jets, and military assets from the Caribbean, and an end to any operations with intervention purposes driven by Southcom, an end to the illegal unilateral sanctions against Venezuela, and the end to the use of unilateral sanctions anywhere in the world, which kill an estimated 500,000 people every year worldwide. An end to the failed war on drugs framework that has already led to massive human and environmental tragedies in countries such as Colombia and Mexico. See, I told you they're pro-drugs. The restoration of diplomatic relations with the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, including the reopening of the embassy and consular offices in U.S. territory. A U.S. foreign policy centered on peace, multilateralism, and respect for national sovereignty and self-determination. Democratic Socialists of America calls on the people of the United States to protest and resist this illegal war and to stand in solidarity with the sovereign people of Venezuela, including participating in anti-war actions called for January 3rd. Well, clearly they've not seen any videos of Venezuela on the ground and the just absolute massive celebrations happening in Venezuela. All right, so one bad dude, this woman is crying, apologizing to the people of Venezuela and claiming that Trump just got us involved in Vietnam 2.0. What planet are these people living on? I wouldn't believe it's possible for someone to be so wrong on so many levels, but here we are. Let's hear
Americans believe ourselves to be the good guy. and Trump has turned us into the
Oh
villain.
my God, she's fucking crying too.
Lo siento. I am so sorry. Most of us don't support this. It's wrong. Trump's crying over a peace prize he didn't get while waging a new war for the United States.
Oh my God, lady, you realize the person who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2025 was a Venezuelan, and she dedicated her peace prize to President Trump himself. Of course she doesn't know that, but that's the truth.
States, but he ain't the one going and fighting it. So it's going to be another generation of troops that don't come home, and if they do, they're fucked up. And I was raised by one. It's about to be Vietnam 2.0. This is wrong. How can you support it? How can you sit there not saying that?
Yikes, dude. Freaking yikes. All right, conservative brief. Is she nuts? Democrat Congresswoman Gwen Moore says Republicans own most of the mainstream media. Quote, I appreciate CNN, but I'll tell you, Republicans own most of the media. We Democrats are hard-pressed to get our message out. Dude, these people are so brain dead. Oh, my God.
CNN, but I'll tell you, Republicans own most of the media. They control Fox News and
that's
X
one.
or Meta, whatever you call it.
What?
Right now the president has purchased or allowed his allies to purchase TikTok. We are hard pressed to get our message out.
I mean, Wisconsin. My God, why would you vote for this person? You're insane. You're absolutely insane. Andy, no, Democrat lawmakers are calling for President Trump to be impeached and removed from office in reaction to his leading an effort that resulted in Nicolas Maduro and his wife being arrested and brought to the U.S. to face justice in American court. And again, that's from Andy No from the postmillennial.com. I'll give this a quick look. All right, and get rid of that. And post-millennial Dems call for removal of Trump over Maduro capture while Venezuelans celebrate. Absolutely. You can't make this shit up. After President Trump ordered the capture and arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro for charges of narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and other crimes, Democratic lawmakers want to impeach the president and remove him from office. All the while, Venezuelans around the world have been seen celebrating the fall of Maduro. Early on Saturday, President Trump announced on True Social, the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And from the post-millennial, thousands of Venezuelans celebrate the capture and downfall of dictator Nicolas Maduro at Puerta del Sol in Madrid. This is in Madrid. And the rightful president, the legitimate president of Venezuela, is in Spain because he's in exile. He had to flee Venezuela. Maduro has since landed in the United States, and Venezuelans around the world have been celebrating the capture of the leader. Democrats, however, have taken a different tack. Rep. Delia Ramirez said of the capture of Maduro that the operations were illegal, dangerous violations of international and U.S. law that put us all at risk. Trump and his administration are out of control because they believe they are untouchable, but they are not. There are mechanisms in place to protect Americans from despots, warmongers, and authoritarians. Congress must use them. We must pass Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's war powers resolution that asserts our authorities, and Trump must be impeached, the lawmaker added in a statement. Rep. Jared Huffman, Democrat of California, of course, said in a statement to Axios, "We are in 25th Amendment territory right now," after calling the move truly insane. Meanwhile, Venezuelans in the country, as well as around the U.S. and other places, have been seen celebrating the capture of Maduro. Some have also confronted left-wing protesters railing against Trump for the capture of Maduro. New York City, Venezuelans confront left-wing protesters in Times Square advocating for the release of dictator Nicolas Maduro. Thank you, Mr. Presidente Donald Trump. So we'll check this out.
Venezuela libre. Regresen, que en Estados Unidos no lo quieren. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere. Regresen,
I could probably translate. He's calling them brain dead. They're morons. They're idiots. They have no idea what they're talking about. You equals brain dead. I mean, who do you think everyday Americans are going to listen to? The brain dead rabble or actual real Venezuelans? I don't know. I would pay my attention to the latter. All right, so we got one Venezuelan journalist said to those on the left defending Maduro, "Do not for a moment let your hatred and disdain for Donald Trump have you defending the dictator of my country." Venezuelan journalist Germania Rodriguez Polio torches left-wing protesters who are irate over the U.S. capture of dictator Nicolas Maduro. "Do not for a moment let your hatred..." Okay, I already read that. But I think I already played this, though, didn't I? Pretty sure I did.
Now a message to my English-speaking friends.
Yeah, okay. So we played that one earlier. All right, and that concludes the article, which I'll link below. Defiant L's MSNBC. "This strikes me as an act of war."
My non-legal mind strikes me as like an act of war. And if it's an act of war, we can only be at war if Congress declares a war. So can you try to explain, if you can, what the senator means by this action likely falls within the president's inherent authority under Article 2 of the Constitution?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first I would just say there's many, many things in these last 11 months that the president has said he has inherent Article authority, Article 2 authority to do, and so it's not surprising that that's what he would rely on here. As you said, what we're seeing happening in Venezuela doesn't look like simply protection of those military and law enforcement personnel who were involved in the actual capture operation. It looks much more broadly like that. That looks like entering into hostilities with another country, right? So,
right? Am I right? Am I right? Please tell me I'm right. All right, so that looks like we'll do it for this episode. And
if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.